My grandson is turning 1 year old, which means he needs a cute little banner for the front of his high chair. Hello, I am Katie from the craftyblogStalker.com, and I'm really excited about this project today that I get to make for my grandson's birthday. If you're new to my videos, make sure and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming free craft tutorial videos. I have most of the supplies laid out on my table, and I'll also be using my Cricut machine and an SVG that I designed specifically for this project. And don't worry, I do have a complete supply list with shoppable links either in the description of this video, in the blog post, or through this QR code. I have opened Cricut Design Space on my iPad, and of course you can also do this on a laptop or a desktop. I'll open a new project, and I just want to go to the blank canvas. I have already uploaded the file into Cricut Design Space, but if you still need to upload it, first you need to grab it from the website. It is a free download. Then I'll come here to the plus sign, click upload. If you're bringing it into Cricut Design Space, you would browse files so that you can bring it in. Since I already have it, I'm going to open uploaded images. There is my one banner. I'm going to make a few minor changes before I cut though. So I'm going to open up my layers panel, and I want to ungroup. So now each piece is its own layer. I'm going to highlight the darker letters. Those are going to be gold. So I'm going to go to color and change those to gold and apply. And then my blues, I'm actually using two different blues. So I want the pennant blue to be a darker blue. I'm doing this to make sure that they all cut on different mats. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but the theme for his birthday party is Bluey. So I'm even using a Bluey font that I found online, and we're doing the colors of Bluey in the banner. That all looks good. I don't want to resize, so I'm going to leave everything as is and click make. I can save if I want to, but since I haven't made any real changes, I'm not going to save. Here is my mat preview. With my white, I don't have any 12 by 12 white, but I have 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to click up on this mat icon and change my material size to 8.5 by 11. Now I have to cut it on two mats, which is totally fine. I've got my banners on two pieces. I'm going to turn this just so I can save a little bit more paper. All of my other mats look fine. My dark blue is 12 by 12, so I am fine there. I'll click next. Hit the button to connect, and if that button isn't working, make sure to go into your settings and try and connect that way. Now I can select my material. Most of my material is the same except for the gold. The gold is a thicker, almost like a foil poster board. So I'm going to do this one first, and I'm going to search up the material. Foil poster board. I'm going to select that. I'm also going to go in and change the default pressure to more, just to make sure I get a nice crisp cut. I'm using a standard grip mat that is well loved. I'm going to use a brayer just to really push my material into my mat, since my mat is well loved and not as sticky as it once was. That load light is blinking, so I can load my mat. It's going to measure my mat, pull it in, and then pull it back out. When this light begins to blink, I can press it to begin the cut. All done cutting, so I can unload my mat. Whenever removing paper from your mat, it's a good practice to turn the mat over and remove the mat from your paper. This will minimize curling. If you were to just lift off the paper from the front of the mat, that would cause your paper to curl. And we want to keep it as flat as possible. For the rest of our mats, they are the same material. So I'm going to choose medium cardstock. Again, I'm going to go more pressure, and I'm going to remember material settings so I don't have to come to this screen between each mat. I'll apply my next paper to my mat and continue. I'm not going to show you cutting each mat because now they're all basically the same. Here are all of our cut banner pieces. So all that we have left here is just to glue. I'm going to use two different types of adhesive. I'm going to use some adhesive foam dots and then just some simple Elmer's glue. Some glue to the back of my white banner piece. I'm going to center that on. I want there to be the same amount of blue banner around all of the edges. There's our pennant banner pieces, and now I'm going to glue the letters. same way, apply glue to the back of each letter. Now the O only fits on there correctly one way. See, if I do it that way, the inside of the O doesn't line up. So just make sure that you are lining that up the right way. I'll use adhesive foam dots to put the letters on. And the foam dots just help give each letter a little bit more dimension by popping it off the page. Center that letter on the banner and repeat for our next letter. Sometimes getting these little adhesive foam dots, the backing off, can be a little tricky. When you go to peel off that back liner, the whole dot will come up. So to help stop it from doing that, push it down really good with your thumb first and then remove the back. Our cute little banner says 1, since that is how old he is. I didn't put holes in the design on purpose, just in case you wanted to resize, so then the holes wouldn't be either too big or too small. So I will use my Crocodile to give it some holes. I'm going to use the 3/16 inch hole punch on there and just punch a hole in both corners. Then I've got some light blue ribbon. I'll get a long length of that. I probably have close to a yard there. And just string my ribbon, making sure that I'm putting the letters in the correct order. I want to make sure that those are about evenly spaced. Then I'm going to turn it over and I'm just going to add some little pieces of tape there. So I keep that spacing right where I want it. Since this is the back, you won't see this, so it doesn't matter if you only have like masking tape or duct tape, any kind of tape. Doesn't really matter. You're just holding it in place. So there's our 1, and I do have long ends on purpose. We'll get to that in a minute. For the next part of our banner, we're going to go to tulle, and I got 2 colors of tulle, a white and a light blue, and then I have some rope. I'm going to cut this off. We'll start with the blue, and I'm going to cut it in half where it's already folded, just with a pair of scissors. This doesn't have to be perfect by any means. Then I'm going to fold that in half again, and now I'm going to cut strips that are about an inch. I'm not going to measure. Actually, I'm going to fold it in half again. That'll make it easier to cut. And then I'm going to cut them about an inch apart. That will be 2 different strips. See, I have 2 different ones there. I'm just going to go all the way down. There are all of my blue strips. And I'm going to do the same exact thing with my 1/2 yard of white. Cutting my 1/2 yard in half there on the fold line. Fold it in half again and fold it in half again and cut my strips. There are all of my white strips. I've got my rope and I'm going to take each strip, bring the ends together, put those ends underneath the rope, pull the ends up and through that loop. I'm just going to repeat that all the way down. So now I've got my white, create my loop at the top, put it underneath my rope, bring my ends up and through the loop and pull it tight. I'm just going to keep going down my rope until I have all of these pieces tied on. Here is my tulle banner after a 1/2 yard of light blue and a 1/2 yard of white. It isn't quite as long as I want it to be. If I pull up my big ruler here, it is only about 18 inches. So I ran to the store and I bought another yard of fabric, another 1/2 of the light, and a 1/2 of a dark navy, since I'm going with that bluey color scheme. So I'm going to do the same thing, cut these into strips, and then I'll add those strips into this. There is my tulle banner. I really like how it looks with that dark navy blue in there. I like that a lot. So let's go ahead and measure it. We are at 28 inches, and this is about 1.5 yards of fabric. I've also got this gold ribbon that I want to measure about 24 inches long. They don't have to be exactly 24. I've also got some blue ribbon. I'm going to do the same thing. I'll use the same light blue ribbon that we used for our banner. And I'm going to put these on the same way. Put it underneath that rope, create the loop, and bring the ends up through the loop. Now that I've got my little bits of ribbon on there, I'm going to go through and just separate all of those little sections just a little bit, because there's some that are tighter than others. Let's measure this again. And we are at about 28.5 inches. So I am good with that. I think that looks really good. I've got a couple ribbon strands that are really long. So I'm just gonna trim those up. I can just kind of comb it with my fingers to straighten out all of those sections. To hang this banner on the front of the high chair, I'm gonna use some command hooks. So with these ends, I just wanna create kind of a little loop. And I don't want the loop very big, so I'm just going to grab a weeding tool and I'll make that my loop size and create a little knot there. There's my little loop and I can cut this off. Do the same to this side. Double knot that and cut off that excess. So there is the tool part of the banner. And we'll take our one and I'm gonna tie this onto the banner. Just creating a little knot. I can trim off this end. I'll do the same with this side. Trim off that ribbon. And there is our cute high chair banner for the first birthday with a Bluey theme. What do you think? I think this turned out super cute and I am so excited to see it on my grandson's high chair when we're all celebrating him at his birthday party. Thank you for joining me today and make sure to stop by my website, thecraftyblogStalker.com, to grab the free SVG file to make this banner. You can also find my video tutorials on YouTube and watch them at home on your smart TV on Made It Myself TV. Thanks everyone. Bye and happy crafting.